we're going to do a quick little video on what it's like to become a new agent in real estate. So I want to actually interview Rosalina because she just came into the business almost a year ago. And what did she expect? What does her day look like today? And what advice would you give to someone new coming into this business? So
Okay.
First, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
So my name's Rosalina DeLise. I just turned 22 years old. I started real estate in March, so I think it's been about 9 months actually. So yeah, almost a year. I do real estate here in willmarmn, Minnesota, and I've lived here my whole life, so I have a pretty good understanding of the area.
So why did you get into real estate?
I got into real estate, if I'm going to be honest, because one of my mentors, Nancy Swanson, I was really good friends with her daughter, and so I watched Nancy become a real estate agent at the age of 50, and her career just took off, and I thought, if she could do it at that age, I could do it at 21. And so she was really inspiring, and then I liked the idea of being able to help people get houses because as a 21-year-old, we don't have a lot of knowledge about houses and how it works and how obtainable it really is. And so I like having this knowledge, and I love having the conversation with people my age. So yeah, I just feel really, really useful with being in this field.
Okay. So we won't tell Nancy you said how old she might have been when she started. So we'll keep that to ourselves.
Okay.
But anyway, so you got into business, and how's it going? Your first few months?
It's been a roller coaster. It really, really has. Right now, it's feeling pretty steady, and it's feeling really good. Like I've actually found a groove that I enjoy, and I'm not 100% there yet, but I'm getting there, and it feels awesome. But if you would have asked me that a couple months ago, I would have said something completely different, because the thing about real estate is that everybody does it differently. Everybody runs their business a little bit different, and so you have to find which way works best for you. And so you're going to go through a lot of ups and downs and trials and stuff like that. And so that's kind of what it was. And I'm still in this trial period, but it's definitely a lot better now that I've had the experience. That's really what it is you need the experience with clients and other realtors. Like, you need other realtors. And so I've had really good examples set for me in my office. So yeah.
But would you agree there's a lot of tools that you have?
Yes.
And it's figuring out how to use them,
yes,
right?
So sometimes there's too many tools, and it's overwhelming because there's a lot of tools, and it's not just like there's 1,000 different websites, and you have the people in your office that you can use as tools, and there's a ton of tools. Right. There really is.
Yeah. And like you said, no two agents run their business the same.
No, yeah.
So it's a matter of figuring out which ones make the most sense for you.
Exactly, yeah.
To help figure out how it meets your lifestyle and helps you figure out who your clients are, right? So what was, do you have any interesting stories? Like the first time you went out on a showing on your own, or
oh god,
were you nervous?
Of course I was nervous. I don't know, every experience is a new experience because no two transactions are the same. And so for me, only doing this for 9 months, I have a lot of crazy experiences because they're all new experiences. I can't think of anything crazy off the top of my head though.
Well, what has been your biggest challenge?
Opening doors.
Yeah?
Honestly, opening doors has been my biggest challenge because...
Is it because they're sold before you get to them?
No, it's the key.
Oh, the key.
It's the key.
Okay.
Because every door is different, and so sometimes the key jams, or like it needs to be out just a little bit, and then like the clients are waiting for you to open the door, and so there's like pressure.
Yeah.
And so that's like the biggest one right now, I think. Okay, if I'm being silly, but really the biggest thing was actually finding my groove. So I just felt really lost, and like I was making these big decisions for people, or trying to help them make big decisions with very little knowledge, and so I felt in over my head, and so I don't really feel that way anymore. So as of right now, the biggest thing is opening doors. The locks are tricky sometimes.
They can be. And sometimes the boxes to get the key out of is not
exactly.
Sometimes they're frozen shut. Sometimes you're sitting there banging them with a hammer trying to get them to open, but it's all fun.
No, yeah, of course.
You do get to see a lot of cool homes, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And really, I love homes. I love houses. I love interior design and just like looking at the structure, like how it's built. And so, yeah, I love that. I love being able to have access to these houses, and it's really cool.
Yeah, and you're somewhat intrigued with, obviously in real estate, there's a lot of different things you can get into.
Yeah.
Working with buyers, working with sellers, just being a buyer's agent. If you want to get into commercial real estate, you can get into commercial, you can get into ag, you can get into investment properties, which is something you've started dabbling in as well.
Yeah, so I just bought my first investment property about 2 months ago. So thanks to Jason. Jason helped me out a ton, lots of good advice, and helped me every step of the way. He even helped me write the purchase agreement to get the property. So
it's a lot of fun.
It is. It's been a lot of fun.
Yep. So there's a lot of cool things, but I guess the other question I have is, what's your day look like? Everybody's is different, but I mean, as far as like your average day.
So my average day is insane, actually, because as a new real estate agent, I don't make a ton of money, and it's really, iffy when I'll get another commission check. So I actually work other jobs on top of it. The biggest thing that got me with real estate is everyone says that you get to set your own hours, which is a lie, because you don't. You don't get to set your own hours.
You set your clients' hours.
Yeah, they will call you at 9 o'clock at night, and they will email you at 11, and they will want to look at a house, at the craziest hours. And so it's been interesting. It's like, I think one thing that I've realized is if I have an open schedule, nothing will come up. But if I fill up my schedule, that's when people need me the most. So a typical day for me, I have to work my other jobs. I work an overnight job, and so I get off at 7, and then I have my morning routine, and I come into the office typically around 10, and I try to stay until like 2 or 3. And so those are like kind of my office hours. But I've noticed that like client hours are typically in the afternoon, because most people have jobs during the day. So I'm usually showing houses in the afternoons or on the weekends or stuff like that. So, but then I also work at Target. So I work at Target on afternoons when I'm not showing houses. So it's a full schedule, but honestly, it's not as stressful as it might sound. I think I have a pretty good like structure in place for it. So.
Yeah, you kind of have to figure out how to time block.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely, yeah.
So you don't always have to run right away.
No.
And if you do get a client that wants to see something and you're unable to, you can usually call someone else, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing that I love with the tools here is like if I have to go to work or something, Jason's always really helpful, or if Jason needs my help, I try to be there for Jason. And so sometimes, your biggest tools are just the other people in your office,
You know when I'm on vacation.
Yeah, even when Jason's on vacation, he always answers my call and text.
Right. So, well, that's good. That's good. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So in 5 years, I'll be 26. I want to have at least 5 investment properties by the time I'm 25. Okay. So it's a big goal, but I think it's achievable. And so that's my goal. For real estate, I have some strong goals set within this next year. I want to have a structure and organized layout for how I help my clients, because right now it's kind of just been going with the wind. So I'd like to have a structure put in place. So within the next 5 years, I'd like to quit all my extra jobs and just do real estate full time.
Yep. Everybody's a little bit different. I remember when I got into real estate, I did. January 1st was my cutoff date, and I went into real estate 100% full time. And I didn't know anybody in the community. And I didn't know anybody around. I just didn't know a lot, but I learned. But it's been very rewarding, and I don't think I'd ever change it. I love it. So I just wanted to kind of introduce Rosalina a little bit. So she's in our office. She's, the one thing I did want to say though is the best part sometimes about being new is you do have a lot of time you can dedicate to an individual client.
That's
versus
true.
Sometimes working with an agent that might have a little more experience, you do have the time it takes to actually give them the full service they deserve.
I've actually set that boundary for myself. I won't take on more than 3 clients at a time, because already with 3, I feel overwhelmed, because I don't know the business like how Jason knows the business. He can handle way more than I can. But so I've set that limit for myself. So when I'm working with a client, they typically do have my full attention.
Yep. And from what I've heard, your clients loved working with you so far, the ones that you've all had. And you've closed a few transactions this year, and you got a few in the works. And you're writing purchase agreements regularly, which is important. So, Exactly.
It's going really, really well. So I'm glad I stuck through the rough patch.
Yeah, a lot of it's just figuring out the business and the tools and catering the business and, intertwining it. I bet you, though, next year at this time, we should have to go back and watch this.
Ooh, yes.
I'm betting you'll be like, okay, I'm done with 3. I can handle 10.
No, yeah, definitely.
Because you'll get to that point where you're going to be able to run through the transactions a little faster.
No, yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So,
No, that's
okay.
the goal, is just to slowly improve, take my time, and make sure that I'm not spreading myself too thin so that I can give the best I can give to my clients.
Okay. So for someone new coming into this business, what would be your advice?
My advice is tough it out, really. Give yourself at least a year, because there was like a time there where I was like, I just don't think this is for me. It's, it's just too much and whatever. There's not enough structure, I'm in charge of too much. It's too much pressure. All these like negative thoughts. But my advice is just to push through that, and because it does get better. After you get an understanding, of course it's going to feel overwhelming at first, but after you get the understanding, it's really worth it, I think. I think it's a really good career, and I think anyone could do it. I really do. So
Awesome. All right. So if anybody was interested in being an agent or wanting to use you to look at houses and stuff like that, they can call you, right?
of course, yes.
What
You'll
is
put my
your-
information on it,
I'll
right?
put your information in the thing. What is your phone number again?
320-295-0860.
Okay. Perfect. Awesome.
Okay. Well, thanks,
All right.
Jason.
You're absolutely welcome. Appreciate your time.
Of course,
And
yeah.
this is Jason Dowdy, Weicher Realtors Title Property, and we look forward to opening your door to bigger dreams.